Hello, lovely people. Back at you again with yet another match. This time a little bit experimental, because I wasn't there to record this match live, which means we are looking at the POV of one of the players, in this case Podatte. This match is Podatte versus Mr. Wick, nowadays, also known as Get a Grip X. And we're gonna be seeing how this one turns out. Before the match, Podatte rank 2 and Mr. Wick rank 4, so Mr. Wick the challenger. And we're gonna hope that it goes well. I've stayed completely spoiler free. I don't know the result of the match, I don't know the final result, I don't know who won any round, what systems got picked whatsoever. But yeah, we are looking at it after dates, so probably not gonna edit it much. Unless if there's something really weird going on. And yeah, I hope it's gonna work out. We're mostly here to see the PvPs, and that part should definitely be covered. Due to some technical difficulties with the timing, just me not being home in time for their match. Wasn't that much that we can do about it, so this is the best solution, and we hope it's gonna work out. So looks like we are looking at Sirius, and we are having a small discussion about the drones, so you can keep your ships hidden, stuff like that. And it looks like Podatte of the opinion that it is not that useful. Yeah, so it looks like both of these people trusting each other to not cheat. And because we're actually looking at the POV, we can verify that Podatte is not cheating, so that's good. But Podatte is also a referee, so if he would be cheating, then we'd have bigger issues on our hands. And we're gonna take a look. Razor already wishing good luck. And Wick seems to be ready to go out. And we'll see what Podatte wants to pick. As I've said in previous matches as well, Podatte used to be called Hekatte, for those of you who don't know, so that's the name I originally know him by. Probably gonna get those confused. Mr. Wick used to be Get a Grip, also probably gonna get those confused, so in this match, at least for my commentary, it's most likely going to be Mr. Wick and Get a Grip fighting against Podatte and Hekatte. So a bit of spicy 2v2 action. But memes aside, let's go. We have a Hunter for body. And which one there is? Yeah, an Emperor for Mr. Wick. So Mr. Wick saying that he expected the Hunter. Which is interesting in my opinion. The Emperor, not the strongest counter to Hunter, I don't think. Of course the counters to Hunter are quite a limited selection. But we're gonna figure it out how this match goes, and yeah, this might actually be interesting to get a little bit of a different perspective how the PvP goes, because we can actually see the item cooldowns this time, so we can get a really accurate view on one of the players, a really accurate view on when his items are available, rather than me having to guess at the timings. So it looks like we're on our way, and yeah, Hekatte just puts the buffs up, even for the sniper blasters, just puts the buffs on. 2 hits, gets more than 50%, only taking 30% himself. Mr. Wick not getting very high hits, and Mr. Wick actually afterburns out of range, and I think Podatte is just gonna chase this and use his superior damage. I do believe that his ship just wins this. Goes for a stun actually, he might kill him. Does he get it before the prot comes up? Okay, prot comes up in time. Looks like Podatte wants to stall out. Not sure if I agree with this. I feel like he should be going in if he has the buffs. His attack charge is about to run out. Mr. Wick is almost dead though, but still has the RD. So I think, yeah, at this point Podatte doesn't have enough defense, so he's gonna have to get to range. He might be in trouble here if he doesn't get far enough away. So yeah, Mr. Wick uses the RD, and Podatte, I think they're right at the edge, and Hunter is a slightly faster ship, so it wouldn't surprise me if he gets out of range, but gonna be cutting it close. It actually looks like Mr. Wick not chasing him. That's quite interesting. I think if Wick could get in range there, I think he wins. He might be estimating that he wouldn't be able to get in range. And Podatte now turning, it would seem. Yeah, okay, so there he is. We can also see some drone swapping. Of course, these high-level players definitely used to that. Switching the drones and... Ooh, Podatte just puts the RD, like, he wants to try to start winning this more on cooldowns than on taking the fight, essentially. Which, yeah, the Hunter does get favored as the match goes on, because Actuator, Stun, you do have a bit more control, and you also have superior cooldown rotation as the fight goes on. But yeah, almost everything back now. He doesn't quite have the RD yet, but I feel like he should be safe enough to turn in. It makes a slight detour. Doesn't go in range yet. He's probably gonna wait until his entire RD is back up, and he will have gained 17% HP. And with the level of PvP that we're seeing here, or that we're expecting here, I should say, from the rank 4 challenging the rank 2 on the leaderboard, I mean. Okay, so now we're turning back in, puts the buffs. We'll see what Wick decides on for his defensive order. Stun right as the RD gets clicked. So Mr. Wick still has the Protector. Probably gonna put that soon. Yeah, okay, so... Actually he has Ifrit running. Does he manage to time it? No, okay, so he doesn't keep the Ifrit going. And Podatte now with the buffs, fighting into a little bit more prot health. I think Podatte is still favored here. Wick also missing a blaster. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, in the end, Podatte wins 17% first with the range play and the cooldown abuse. Wins 17%, then goes in for a fight and wins it with 41% left. So, if he didn't win those 17% earlier, actually, this is kind of, it's not flashy, but it's a bit technical. So let me explain. If he didn't win those 17% by doing his cooldown trickery, then he would be at about 20% left, and that's like one blaster that critted from Wick and one blaster that didn't miss, and then he actually loses that PvP. So yeah, pretty close result, but Wick not wanting to draw it out too much, I suppose. Feeling confident that he'll be able to burst past, and Podatte just a little bit more DPS, more extra DPS than the Emperor has extra defense. So Podatte leading 1-0 now, and I kind of glossed over it, but this is Mr. Wick from rank 4. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. Mr. Wick is at rank 4 before this match, and Podatte at rank 2. So Mr. Wick challenging Podatte. Podatte off to a 1-0 lead, and we'll see what Wick decides on. Was it in chat already? Yeah, level 60 soul has been selected for the second round, and Podatte is saying he doesn't even feel an adrenaline rush, so either he's very confident that he's gonna win, or he is... I honestly don't really know. Either confident or just doesn't find it that important, is just having some fun with it. Either way, you know, some very interesting stuff, and we'll see what sort of ship he decides on. He's putting all of his ships on level 60, so probably trying to be fair and show which ships he has at level 60, not wanting to keep some configurations hidden. Either that, or he's doing it so that there isn't only one ship at level 60, which would make it quite obvious what he's picking. And now he's clicking through his opponent's ships, sees a Punari at soul level, Hunter at ancient level. No, I feel like Podatte should have a decent idea of what ships Mr. Wick has. These guys are very good friends, played with each other and against each other a lot of times already. So I think Podatte has a pretty good idea of what the opponent has, and he's currently on an Emperor. We'll see if he wants to stick with that. Clicks it into a CC at the last second, so throwing some curveballs for the commentator there. That's perfectly fine. It looks like it's gonna be a CC. Unless he wants to change his mind. No, CC it is. So let's see. Let's see what Mr. Wick has chosen, and if Podatte's choice with the Chrome is gonna pay off. Mr. Wick and a Punari, yeah, that's very unfortunate for him. The Punari, not a good ship for countering the Chrome. Chrome just kind of has a bit too much defense. It's very difficult to overwhelm the defensive rotation. Podatte's saying, like, he's offering a swap, so the match will be more fair. We'll see. No, Mr. Wick not agreeing to that. So Mr. Wick saying he thinks he has a good chance. So we'll see if that's if he knows something, or if he knows something that we don't, or maybe he just, you know, wants to keep it fair based on the choices. So this is what we should be doing. So round 2, Podatte leading 1-0, and let's find out how it goes. CC versus the Chrome. Wick opening with a Protector. Some blasters back and forth. Podatte not putting anything yet. Chrome has a lot of armor, and Punari doesn't have a lot of DPS, so I think Podatte is gonna wait until pretty late into his HP bar before he puts any defense. And we'll see what he decides on, if it's gonna be an RD first or a stun first. Goes for the RD first, and Mr. Wick, as expected, goes for the stun. Podatte AB's out. Could be a bait play. I'm not sure who this favors, honestly, but both of you stay ABs at this point. Looks like Podatte wants to stall out. At least doesn't want to fight into the stun. Yeah, Mr. Wick has to put his RD because the threat of the OS is too great. And looks like Podatte just wants to kite out that RD, so he's gonna work on getting his own RD back with the actuator. Does lose the trap. It's a pretty long cooldown. I think he was trying to move in, like, towards the end to try to protect the trap, but didn't quite get it. And Mr. Wick stun dumps him, gets the distance. Now we're gonna wait for his own items to get back. But I'm not happy with that, so he's gonna AB in, see if he can work some magic. The stun should be back soon. Yeah, a bit of back and forth, and OS into the Protector, doesn't do that much damage. A little bit of trickery with putting it on the Mantis there, if I saw it correctly. So yeah, Mr. Wick now puts his Scrambler up, should have his RD back up in time as well, but it still has the Protector as well to defend himself if he wants to. Probably gonna put it when his HP is quite low. I'm not sure if he has an Ifrit on his Chrome, might be trying to get that some use. He is on Ifrit range now. AB. Mr. Wick also ABing after him based on the minimap, and I think he's gonna put a Prot in turn here. Yeah. Mr. Wick already puts the RD up. I think he's gonna try to do an Ifrit OS, and that's some dangerous stuff, so Mr. Wick needs to be careful here. But Podatte also doesn't have that much HP to work with. He might actually just die. Is he just dead? 13%? 2%? He's dead! Mr. Wick does it! 1-1. Nice! Nice, very nice. Podatte not quite managing his cooldowns correctly, and Mr. Wick just manages to disrupt it slightly. Combination with some not amazing OS hits, and it's enough. So yeah, between two ships that can't kill the opponent very quickly, stuns do allow you to win if the fight goes long, it seems. Stuns, the stuns doing more for the cooldown battle than the actuator does. Podatte also a bit hesitant in using his actuator at some points in the fight. But yeah, Punari is a bit of a difficult ship to play into. I think it's quite difficult to kill. If you don't have good damage output, it's just difficult to kill the Punari quickly. And that's kind of the issue here for the Chrome. So Mr. Wick now takes the second round, tying the series up 1-1. So we've moved from a best of 7 into a best of 5. And we shall see what Podatte decides to pick for his third round. This is now his choice of system. And he says he is unsure what to pick. So, taking a moment to think about it, that this is good, right? We don't have any time limits on the picking as long as it's not excessive. And yeah, we're gonna find out. So yeah, Mr. Wick saying he also struggled to pick a system. I think both of these players have a ton of ships available, so honestly the system doesn't matter that much. Obviously the system matters more, I think, between these two players for how the ships work rather than what the ships are. I think both of them have pretty much all the ships they need in every system, but in Draconis, a Draconis Chrome plays a bit different from a Sol Chrome. Basically every system, the relationship between armor and DPS is slightly different. So Mr. Wick already has decided on a ship, and we'll see what Podatte wants to go for. Podatte looking through his opponent's ships. He scans a VQ there that was on Draconis tech. I'm not sure if he's gonna base on that his opponent is playing a VQ. It could have other ships that are also on the configuration. Not sure, but Podatte playing a Hunter, which is a very good counter to the VQ. So we'll see. Also see him buying an extra drone slot, so definitely at this level of PvP that fourth drone does make quite a difference. I will say, like, being able to both range exploit with the division drone, and then once the range exploit gets broken, switch in the cooldown drone for a bit more DPS and to get your items back more quickly, definitely can give you a noticeable advantage if the players are evenly matched enough, and looks like it is indeed the VQ. So Podatte with a very accurate ship pick, looks like accurately predicting what his opponent was gonna do. And yeah, Mr. Wick is now really unfavored. The VQ against Hunter matchup is it's a bit of a slaughter. It's one of the harder counters in the game, I think, one of the more dominant matchups in the game. Definitely strongly favors the Hunter, but it should be said, we have seen in other matches as well, upsets happen all the time, and you know, Hunter not the most armored ship, bomb pretty powerful. If he can get in range for it, if he can land a good bomb crit, match could be over before you know it. Like, there's definitely potential here for the VQ, but overall the Hunter is strongly favored. The VQ doesn't really have any way to get in range. So yeah, Podatte, right as I said that, he goes into range, but I think he's perfectly fine with giving up the range here. The bomb at the start doesn't matter that much. He's just gonna force his opponent to use his defensive items, throws out a stun, prevents his opponent from doing DPS, and probably just gonna DPS through the RD at this rate. RD plus Scrambler, it does defend you quite a bit. Scrambler is about to run out, Podatte actually wants to go for a reset. So we'll see. We'll see if Mr. Wick chases this. I don't think he should, because he doesn't get the RD back as fast as Podatte, and if Podatte gets a second RD, well, Wick does not, then it's over. So, not sure if he's chasing. He's not in render distance, at least, doesn't seem like it. Podatte now, he has the RD back up, so he's ready to fight again. His buffs do run out though. Yeah, so Mr. Wick renders back in. Looks like we're gonna go for some SB pokes based on their movements. Yeah, so we start some SB warfare, and let's see who gets the better hits. Pew 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 pew. Pretty evenly matched so far. 45 against 44%. And Podatte just puts the RD on. He knows that the VQ has no real way to get in range of him, unless if the Hunter like allows it. So Hunter AB's in, VQ AB's in, Hunter AB's out. And yeah, Mr. Wick sees he can't get in range, so he's gonna turn around and not give the opening to Podatte. And now Podatte should be trying to get back into range, which indeed he is. But yeah, puts the actuator, and this is actually quite clever, because now he's gonna get, because of the actuator, he's gonna get his AB slightly faster than Wick, and that should be enough to get into stun range. And then if Wick tries to AB out, you can just stun him. So yeah, puts the buffs up, he knows the position he's in, runs in, careful of the bomb still, yeah, stays to the side, puts the RD really early, now needs to be ready to stun. Oh, kinda gets out of range, that's not good. If his buffs gets wasted, he has a problem. And now, yeah, he has to stun, but that means that Wick can just walk away. He could just AB out. Podatte is gonna be able to AB into him, but he doesn't have his RD anymore. While Mr. Wick still has an RD available, and also still has the bomb, so has to be a bit careful. He does get back in range, 8%. Oh, Mr. Wick took really on the RD. Slightly messing it up, and the stun there just barely long enough for Podatte to get in range, so... Yeah, the RD just slightly not... either too late or he didn't put it on time. I'm tempted to say that... Wait, 2-3? It should be 1-2, no? Did I miss 2 matches? I'm a bit confused now. Huh. Okay. Interesting. We'll have to see. I'll trust these players on their scoring for now, but as far as I've seen the recording, it's just gonna casually, while I'm commentating, I'm gonna verify this. So let's verify that real quick if we can. As far as I can tell, the score is 1-2, but could be mistaken. So we're gonna see if we can verify what's going on. Okay. Okay, so I've just been informed that it's actually about the RD timing that the 2-3 was describing. So yeah, the score is 1-2. Podatte leading with 2 rounds against 1 round from Mr. Wick. My apologies, guys, just got a little bit confused on the formatting there. But yeah, Mr. Wick describing the timing of his RD, not the score of the match. And we'll see. Miser has been selected by Mr. Wick, so we'll see what these players bring out. Podatte currently in a soul ship, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see if these players notice that, because that would be a little bit unfair. Yeah, so Podatte needs to switch into a Miser configuration, messing up a little bit. Barely caught a glimpse of what the enemy had there. It looked like either a Marl or a Punari. He was already going to the surface, and we'll see. I think they have the exact same tech on... Yeah, so Podatte making a slight mistake there with his configuration, but it can happen, you know. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that he wanted to pick a Marlstone, like, it being the wrong system is an obvious mistake, but yeah. So he fixes that, takes his Miser configuration. And let's see what Geta has to offer. So Podatte in a Marlstone and Geta with a Chrome. Okay. I normally consider the Chrome versus Marl matchup to be reasonably even, like fairly 50-50, but in Miser the Marl is quite favored because the OS is just a lot weaker. So yeah, you'll see there the OS does less than 50% health, which Milestone, not a very high armor ship, and Podatte deciding not to do anything there. Could have landed a stun. Also choosing not to afterburn after his opponent. We'll see. Mr. Wick, yeah, tried to go for a bait, doesn't get it. No real items used. Mr. Wick a bit behind on HP, but Podatte behind on his RD cooldown, so he's just gonna chill, wait for the RD cooldown, and yeah, probably once he gets the RD back, he's gonna go in and take advantage of his 31% that he has gained so far. Milestone is the faster ship, should be pointed out here. Okay, so Mr. Wick now puts the RD, and Podatte is gonna try to get in range, probably gonna try to land the stun as well. He's gonna get it, tries to cut him off on the corner, not quite. So yeah, Milestone is a slightly faster ship, but it's not a huge difference in speed. So eventually Podatte should get in range, but might take a while. I feel like he's almost there. He doesn't have the division drone either, that's not helping him. Okay, he gets in range, stun dumps, so he can like force the fight now. Okay, another OS, you can see the damage quite lacking, that was 36%. I think, might even be less, I'm not sure if he landed a blaster as well. So yeah, a little bit lacking on the DPS with that OS, and Podatte puts his RD again. Mr. Wick on the run, Podatte chases this time, and yeah, that's the trap. So the CC can reset the fight with the trap, but trap obviously a very long cooldown. Podatte just wants to take care of the trap, doesn't feel like directly engaging. Okay, takes the trap out of the equation. Mr. Wick was trying to take the fight again to, like, maybe protect the trap, save it for later to run away again, but Podatte not allowing it, and Mr. Wick now with an RD. Podatte almost has his RD back up, so he's gonna try to get in range here, yeah. We'll see. Mr. Wick lets him. Mr. Wick can still escape by just putting the protector and then after burning out, but he'll be wasting a defensive item. Yeah, again the OS. The rare OS just not very impressive. Okay, so Podatte doesn't stun him there. I think he had the time, either slow on reflexes or deciding it's not worth it. But he did use his RD already, so we're gonna have to see what this brings us. Mr. Wick at half health though, and Podatte still at full health. Putting his FPS on the screen for some reason. And let's see how this goes. Yeah, showing that he's currently in a 2-1. Another OS, another low hit, less than 30% that time. Mr. Wick dropping quite low. He's gonna have to put his RD. Oh, stun. Kill! Whoa! Mr. Wick underestimating the strong stun. I don't think that he had that much win chance though. He was just slowly being whittled down, but definitely messing up in the end with his timing there. And Podatte off to a quick 1-3 lead, so only needs one more win. Pretty good showing from him this series so far. Also good on the ship choices though, as I said at the start, like, it is favored, in Mizar at least, it is favored to be the Milestone here. Other systems I think it's a lot more debatable whether the Milestone or the CC is favored, but in Mizar definitely you'd rather be on the Milestone side of things. And Mr. Wick now choosing Sirius, so we'll see what ship he brings out. He needs to pick something that he thinks Podatte can't beat, because yeah, he's on sudden death mode at this point. One more match and he's out. And Mr. Wick was the challenger, so that would kind of impede his climb to the throne. Podatte just here to defend his spot. Not as big of a deal for him, but still very important, because Podatte is trying to get to that king spot as well, of course, probably right at the start of next week. I'm expecting Podatte to challenge our current king, which is still Fishy. Has been the king from week 1, when he beat James for the spot. But yeah, Mr. Wick currently at rank 4, so not in range of the king. I'm expecting him to go to Colossus to try to get that 1 rank up so he can challenge the king as well, and then it'll be down to who gets it first. But let's see, Sirius was chosen, and we'll see. Oh, it looks like Mr. Wick at the end having a strong RD on the Chrome. That's a bit unfortunate. That's definitely not what you want against um, against a Marlstone. But we'll see. Mr. Wick told us he's already decided on his ship, and Podatte still thinking it over, maybe. He's putting his drones onto the Hunter now, so it looks like he's gonna go for his Hunter once again. Clicks an Emperor. Clicks a Hunter. Looks like Emperor or a Hunter. Which one is it gonna be? He's trying to figure out what his opponent's playing. Decides on the Hunter, okay. So we'll see. Not sure what he's predicting his opponent's playing here. Probably thinks it's gonna be an Emperor again, I would assume. We have an EU. Ooh, Hunter v Hunter. Hunter v Hunter deciding, possibly deciding the match. Okay, so Podatte typing some messages there, mostly meant for the viewers. I'm not gonna repeat those out for you. But Hunter v Hunter, quite an interesting matchup. It's very technical with the item order. Although, being a mirror matchup, it can quite often end up being down to the hits and the crits. And Mr. Wick saying, yeah, like Podatte saying why his opponent didn't pick a Marlstone, and yeah, Mr. Wick saying like because he knows Podatte has an Emp and Podatte quite likes the Emperor, pretty known for his Emperor plays. Picking a Marlstone when there's a chance your opponent has an Emperor is just not a good idea. Like, so the Hunter more reliable. The Hunter doesn't hard lose matchups as much. We're gonna see Hunter v Hunter as the match we've got. I think these people have the same tech, strong actuator. Obviously we can't see Podatte's tech. I didn't pay attention enough during the hangar, so we are going to find out. And we're ready to go, so it could be the deciding match. Podatte only needs one more win, and Mr. Wick needing 3 in a row. Mr. Wick puts the buff already, Podatte stuns, probably gonna try to kite this out or at least stay at a distance. But he did already burn his stun now, so yeah. So he gets at a distance, got one more SB poke in, gets to the distance. HPs are the same, but yeah, in terms of items, this is definitely favoring Podatte so far. AB, yeah, Podatte AB's out as well. AB's back in. He doesn't want to let Wick get a full reset now, because he is favored based on the items. Wick, yeah, dancing around a bit, trying to see if he can get some SB pokes in while he has the buff running, but it doesn't look like Podatte's gonna give it to him. So we're just gonna stay out of range and yeah, so we're just waiting for some cooldowns here. Podatte is gonna be waiting on his stun, and Wick is gonna be waiting on his buff. I don't think there's any way for Podatte to get in range, unless Wick lets him, or unless if Wick reacts slowly. We're gonna see. Not even going for an afterburner here, just kinda waiting and seeing what his opponent wants to do. Okay, now he goes for an AB in. Ooh, big crit there by Wick. Heck puts the RD in first, and Wick still hasn't RD'd, so this is a bit 1%. Whoa, slightly better hit there, and it's like it's all over. Mr. Wick now puts the RD, so they're both gonna be at full health, but Podatte still has a stun. Mr. Wick doesn't anymore, but I think, I'm not sure if he can get in range. If Podatte gets in range here, he wins. I do think Mr. Wick has the buff back, but you can't fight, you can't take this fight if you're stunned and you don't have a stun for your opponent, but we'll see. Podatte needs to get in range though. I'm not sure if he can pull it off. I think they have AB at about the same time. AB in, AB out, yeah. So not gonna get in range there. Podatte recognizing it, goes for a full reset once again. Just backing off. I'm gonna wait for his items to come back, so mainly the actuator in this case, gonna be the main one. So yeah, he has the RD, he has everything else, he just wants to get his actuator, collecting a bit of energy, because it's not that critical if his opponent gets in range now. He's not SB range, doesn't matter that much. If it's blaster range, then he's in a bit of trouble if he doesn't have an actuator. So he's gonna AB a second time. Probably trying to bait out a response from his opponent. Let's take a look. Looks like Mr. Wick afterburning after him? No, that's not Mr. Wick. Never mind. There he is. Okay. So yeah, almost has the actuator back, and we've basically gotten a full reset now. I do think that yeah, both players should have their items up when Podatte gets this actuator, and then the afterburners, of course. But all the fighting items are now available with the actuator turning a beautiful pink once again. SB pokes, same hit for both. Next SB, there it is. Podatte getting a slightly better hit now, 55% against 61%, so 6% advantage. Not the biggest difference, but definitely something. Now Wick gets a better hit because he put the buff, so evens it up, but he does put the buff earlier. Podatte puts his buffs up, and pretty much the same HP now. And we're now gonna play a game of chicken. Yeah, okay, so Podatte the first to put... Ooh! Podatte puts the RD, Mr. Wick goes in for like a quick bait, and doesn't put the RD up in time. He misclicked it, and yeah, 1 SB is enough. At 13%, 1 SB with a strong buff, that's enough. So GG to Podatte, he takes the series 4-1. Mr. Wick saying he almost fell out of his chair, so definitely I think both players definitely at the edge of their seat, but yeah. And that was the series for you, so bit of a different format. Hope it worked out, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.